Hello, Degens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes. I, of course, am the perfect one, AJ. And with me on this wonderful Monday, June 6th, 2022, is the man with the numbers, the sportsbook whisperers, the college basketball gurus, the diamond daddy, Mr. Noah Engelbretson. Noah, how the hell are you doing today, bub?
AJ, I'm fantastic. Well, I could be better. I could be better.
How can you be better?
Well, U of A fucking decided to go lose 22-6 today. After 4.5 hours of wetter delay.
Jesus Christ, that long?
Yeah, first pitch finally came at around 4.5 hours after it was scheduled to. Not at all a pretty outing by the Wildcats, losing 22-6 to Ole Miss. The season now over. And, it just hurts, man. I got back-to-back days, got to watch our softball get eliminated and then our baseball the next day. But, we'll survive, counting down the days till football season now. So,
yeah, and U of A football, maybe we'll win a couple games. We might go 500 or a little bit better. But, hey, shout out to the men and lady cats out there for making it this far. But, hey, let's fucking do better next year, huh? I want one of these, Noah. I want one of these. And we haven't got one of those in a long time.
Hey, the bats have been working. It's the pitching's been hurting us in baseball.
How is it? Every single team. Sorry,
two completely different stories between baseball and softball. Like our typical softball game this year was like 2-1,
Yeah, no,
2-1, 1-3, something like that. Our baseball games, it seemed like they were all like, 15-10. Like that seemed like a typical
Jesus
Arizona
Christ.
baseball game. Like I said, poor pitching, but really good batting. Hey, we'll improve. First year under both Caitlin Lowe and Chip Hale for baseball or softball and baseball, respectively. And, it's only up from here.
Hey, let's go, bro. Let's hope that the Wildcats can figure it out. Shout out there. We will get a little bit more into college baseball World Series and softball World Series in a little bit. But Noah, before we do that, I do want to just get right into it because we had game 2 of the NBA finals yesterday. Warriors and the Celtics coming out. They were still in California because the NBA likes to schedule these things as weird as possible. Warriors finally coming back, making it known that they're here to play and it's going to be a series. And of course, as I transition, everything goes to shit. But Warriors winning this one pretty handily. I believe it was 107-90 something, covering the 4.5 very easily, as my computer still refuses to cooperate me. No, this is freaking awesome. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and stop that. But anyway, any big takeaways from the Warriors and their victory yesterday? What do you think is going to continue to happen in this series? And are you still very confident in the Celtics?
Yeah, I mean, well, the series definitely it's in the Celtics' favor. They took 1 out of 2 games at Golden State, so they now have the upper hand. They have the home court advantage going forward. I still expect the Celtics to win. I said from the beginning, I said Celtics in 6. I think it was very interesting, though. A lot of people, obviously, on the Warriors, a good 80% of the public, a lot of experts on the Warriors to win this series. But the interesting thing is most people who are on the Celtics had them in like 4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
Not 6 or 7. Like the 20% of people that were on the Celtics, a lot of those people were like, Celtics are going to just run away with this thing. Not this is going to be a fight till the end. I think game 6, I like the Celtics winning at home in Boston. Game 6. I think they win these next 2 games in Boston. I think Golden State wins game 5 at home, and then
so that'd be game 7.
No, game 5. Celtics are at home game 3 and 4. So I think they take game 3 and 4 at home. Golden State.
Oh, my bad. I did math wrong. I can't do math.
I think Golden State wins in California game 5, and the Celtics take it in front of their home crowd in game 6. I'm still not worried. However, the playoffs are continuing. The NBA playoffs, the same theme we've seen the entire time. They're continuing to be a bunch of blowout games that are not interesting at all. This has been an awful fucking playoffs.
And now, Noah,
every game's a blowout. Every game's a blowout.
I know, Noah. I fucking hate the NBA. This has been awful. This has not been fun to cover. It's not been fun to watch. And because of this show, I am forced to watch the NBA playoffs and everything. And no, I've not been enjoying myself. My bets have been losing because of shitty officiating. My team lost because of reports of something bad happening in the office. And, it's just not a good look for the NBA right now. Like, if I'm the NBA commissioner, and honestly, that's the thing that's very upsetting. This is one of the better ran leagues in the country. You know what I mean? I would say it's NFL 1, NBA is a close 2 when it comes to how they run the league and everything. I would say
it's not even close. I actually just saw this past week the lowest viewed NFL game of this past season.
Yeah.
Had more viewers than the highest viewed NBA game.
Of course. And that's why they're talking about cutting back the season so that these players don't get fatigued, so that these superstars do play every game, so that they're fucking watchable. Because, you got to cover the fucking season to know what's going on in the playoffs and be able to handicap it. And so watching these regular season games, not knowing who's playing, and then especially the rules about when they can announce players, the NBA is a mess right now. I can't believe I'm going to say this. The NBA is almost being ran worse than baseball right now. And Rob Manfred is the biggest fucking idiot in the world.
Let's not go that far. Let's not go that far. If you're talking MLB, the bar's not even on the ground. The bar is underground. Like, the bar is below sea level.
I'm going to use my favorite line from Moneyball. There are good leagues. There are bad leagues. Then there's 50 feet of shit. Then there's the MLB. Like, that's really how it is right now. It's upsetting to see. We'll talk baseball at some other point when it becomes somewhat interesting, probably towards the All-Star break. We'll get a little bit more in depth into that, especially because we'll have nothing else to talk about. No, I will say we'll move on after this. I did get into lacrosse this weekend. Premier Lacrosse League, okay, the PLL. Hell of a lot of fun to bet on. It's a great, honestly, I enjoyed the hell watching it. I'm not sponsored or anything, but if they want to, please do. Been covering that. I released my power rankings for week 2 earlier today. And so go and give that a look. Got the Whip Snakes at number 1. They're the team to beat right now. Had an epic game against the Chaos to kick off the season. But give it a watch. No, it's awesome, especially with everything going away. Gives you something besides baseball to watch on Saturday and Sunday. It's awesome. But
so just real quick, AJ, remind me, who did you have at the beginning of the series between the Celtics and the Warriors?
I have the Warriors in 6. I've been saying Warriors in 6 the entire time. Watching the Celtics play.
And how do you feel after watching the first 2 games? Still Warriors in 6, or you think it's going to be a little different? This is going to go 7. This is going to go 7, and I'm going to say, and it's going to go 7 because of the officiating. Say whatever you want to about the called second technical foul last night. I didn't, I've watched it back. It really could have gone either way. It's a judgment call, and that's why we have humans making these calls instead of robots. And I think that's part of the game. However, with the NBA's past, and especially the way this postseason's been going, not a good fucking look. It's not a good look, bro. So I think this is going to go 7. I still got Steph and the Warriors. And I think Draymond needs to shut his fucking mouth. Like, bro, try making shots on the court before you take shots on Twitter. Like, it's terrible, dude. It's terrible what he did and everything. I'm so against all of that. Dumbass. Next thing, you want to talk, since we're talking playoffs, you want to talk about some hockey? Yeah, let's talk about a league that's actually run pretty well.
And oh my God, a playoff that actually knows enjoyable to watch. Holy shit.
I was going to say a very competitive and fun playoffs that doesn't have every game resulting in a blowout.
Yeah, no, and they're tight. They're a lot of fun to watch. Overs have been hitting, unders have been hitting. It's just been so great. Let's talk about the game last night. Rangers and the Lightning, 2-1. Rangers taking the lead. Lightning taking the first game at home. If I'm a Tampa fan, I'm getting a little nervous. I'm not feeling maybe the best.
Well, as they should be. Obviously, I'm still riding hard with the Rangers. They were my pick at the beginning of the playoffs to win the Stanley Cup. I'm obviously not shying away from that now. I actually feel better about it now than I did at the beginning of the playoffs. I got very nervous when they got down 3-1 to Pittsburgh, when they got down 3-2 to Carolina. But you know what? They've fought back from both of those. They've got the best damn goalie on the face of the earth right now, and Igor Shesterkin.
Shesterkin, dude. Holy shit. Dude, his neck is so strong because he just stands on his head fucking 60 minutes. It's unbelievable, bro.
As you say, I mean, Lightning scoring with like 45 seconds left to take the 3-2 lead that held up. That was the final score of that game. It took them almost 50 shots on goal to score 3 goals against Igor.
Oh, it was terrible. Terrible, bro.
And you look at some of the other games he's had in the playoffs too. Like, there's been a number of games where he's facing 40, 50, even 60. That one triple overtime game to start the playoffs against the Penguins. He let in, I think it was 4 goals, but he faced like 73 shots.
Yeah, it was insane, dude. So from that stat, he saved 69, and shout out to him for that. But that's just unbelievable, bro. Like, he is standing on his head, peak form of what a goalie should be. Like, he is unbelievable. Now let's look into the crystal ball a little bit here, bro. Rangers, let's say they make it to the Cup Finals. All right, they win the Cup Finals. Shesterkin for MVP.
They don't call it MVP, obviously.
No, I know they don't.
It's the everything's a something trophy. And
I'm looking it up right now.
I don't know why it's escaping my brain right now. I want to say
the Conn Smythe Trophy.
The Conn Smythe, that's the one. Yeah, obviously. I mean, because that's
got to be crazy odds.
That's not just for the finals series. That's, for like the whole playoffs. And
yeah,
if the Rangers win the Cup, there's nobody else on that team that deserves the Conn Smythe over Igor.
They do not have, at least on Caesars right now, they do not have the Conn Smythe Trophy up, but
doesn't surprise me.
Also sucks.
There's also too much variability at this point.
Caesar doesn't suck. We love them. Please sponsor us. I was just joking.
I don't think those lines will be up until we know which 2 teams are in it. And I would bet he has, if it ends up being the Avalanche and the Rangers, I bet Igor's like 3rd or 4th favored to win that because, well, no worse than 3rd, but I don't think he's going to be 1st because I think Colorado will be favored in the series. And just because of that, like, obviously, unless they're pulling some like, Jerry West shit, like giving someone on the losing team the MVP, you don't really see that happen very often. That's probably the only instance I can think of in like all of sports history was Jerry West getting that after losing to the Celtics in Game 7 and then getting MVP.
That was crazy.
Reportedly being absolutely pissed about that and smashing that trophy.
But honestly, if I see Shesterkin at plus 400 or more, I'm slamming it. And I'm slamming the shit out of it like it's a Vietnamese hooker. Like, it's just going to be one of those things.
Well, as good as the Avs are, they haven't played a series against a goalie like that. I mean, they played Nashville, right, to start, and UC Saros, who's probably I'd say UC Saros is a top 5 goalie in the league, but he was out. So they were playing against Nashville's 2nd, and even 1 or 2 games was against Nashville's 3rd string goalie. And that game or that series still went to, I think it was only 5, maybe 6. I don't know. And then St. Louis, obviously Binnington was playing really well, but St. Louis is no match for them. And then Edmonton's defense and goaltending is not that great either. So, Colorado's been allowed to play their game the entire playoffs so far. If they get up against the Rangers, they're going to get forced out of their comfort zone, out of their game. I don't think the Avs win it. Obviously, coming into this round, at the start of the round, the Rangers were, I think, the 3rd favorite. It was Colorado, then Tampa Bay, and then the Rangers, and
still
then
the 3rd at plus 400.
They're still the 3rd, despite having a 2-1 lead.
Yep, they're still the 3rd at plus 400, with Oilers being at plus 1,600 in the 4th.
Bro, at this point, do yourself a favor, go slam. Maybe not slam, but throw something on the Rangers to win the Cup, because I do think they're going to win the Cup. Because just like in the NFL, you're always defense wins championships. In the NHL, you rarely see a team win the cup that doesn't have a goalie who's standing on his absolute fucking head and playing out of his mind in the playoffs.
His neck has to be this fucking big, bro, for how much he stands on his head. It's unbelievable, dude. He has to roid that shit up.
I still have all the faith in the Rangers. They could have easily won that game 3 and gone up 3-0. They have the luxury after starting 2-0. They don't have to fight back from behind in a series. They can just coast to the win. I think, especially if they take game 4, the series is over. Yeah. If Tampa Bay takes game 4, the door's still open for them. But if New York wins game 4, takes a 3-1 lead, they're not blowing a 3-1 lead. This one's over. Colorado's probably going to end up sweeping tonight. I think they're up 1-0 at the end of the first period as we record this live right now. I expect it to be Colorado, New York, and I think New York takes it in say 6 games.
No, you have not been wrong about a national championship in a while or finals or anything. So I'm going to take you up on the Rangers and slam the shit out of that and get on with Shesterkin. You were off about Georgia, Alabama, and I will always hold that against you.
I was going to say I have been wrong.
I wasn't going to bring that up though,
but
no one's going to go back and watch that shit.
But over the last 2.5 years, every preseason champion pick that I have made,
true,
at the very least, the ones that I have picked wrong have done very well and gotten close. and it's funny because all these picks are all plus odds at the beginning of the season, and I'm batting over 500 over the last 2.5 years of just picking championships.
Future. Oh, I gotta throw some. So I'll do the regular nicknames and stuff, and then Mr. Back to the Future, because you bet futures. So Back to the Futures name play. I got you, bro. Don't worry about it. I'm always thinking about branding for you.
Well, I got another one riding too, and we'll get to that a little bit later in the show. But,
a little bit later.
I did take Tennessee to win the
love
tournament
that
for
pick.
baseball.
Love that pick. I love that pick so much. I'm going to take it.
Volunteers, baby.
We'll get on to that in a second. No, I do want to get, talking about sports betting. Let's talk about people getting the absolute bag, bro. And I am talking about this LIV Golf league, super league, or whatever the hell you want to call it, going off being sponsored by the Saudis because they have too much money. So they said, fuck it, let's start a golf league for some reason. They could have started any other sports league, but no, we're going to go with fucking golf. Okay, cool. But granted, this is the most interesting golf has been since Tiger flipped his car and was banging prostitutes and everything like that. So shout out to golf for being interesting.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, it was porn stars, not prostitutes. That's my bad. Mark for edit. But with that being said, Noah, Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson, excuse me, I've been fucking that one up all day. Sergio, all these guys resigning their membership. Excuse me, Phil Mickelson has not yet resigned his membership to the tour. But a lot of these guys, taking the Saudi money, signing these contracts, Dustin Johnson, son of a bitch. Just
say DJ.
DJ, thank you.
Although that might be equally as confusing. DJ,
I'm gonna fuck it up either way. It's just part of the show at this point. Okay. If you're a listener, this happens. It happens. I'm sorry. But regardless, all of these guys getting the absolute bag. I mean, DJ getting, I believe, $150-ish million. Phil Mickelson, I have not been able to find those numbers yet.
Well, DJ got way more than the rest of them are playing for the prize money mainly. DJ,
the 25 million purse. Jesus Christ.
DJ got all that money to be the face of this new golf league.
Yeah. No, 100%. And shout out, because that's a good young face to have, having Phil Mickelson there. It's kind of WWE, AEW. The AEW was a wrestling brand that just started, and they brought in, a old big name to kind of carry it for the young guys. And then they had a roster of just these young guns that everyone's known about and heard about that were extremely talented, but just handed the reins off to them, had a face of the company that was younger, that they did end up backing it. And so shout out to LIV for doing this right and promoting it right. $25 million purse, guaranteeing some money for these PGA players who literally live off of winnings and making the cut and shit like that. And so, I mean, it's a good alternative for golfers. Do I think it's going to pass the PGA? We'll see how we'll see. We'll see how the numbers do and everything, because I don't think
Giants.
I don't think so. I really don't. I don't think Americans are going to be like, oh, sweet, the Saudis are starting something while I'm paying $7 for a gallon of gas. That's great. Let's go watch that and give them more money. As of right now, I've seen lines up, but they seem to be just about the same, since it's essentially a PGA roster. And so nothing, betting wise, nothing really changes. I haven't seen that there's any new rules or anything crazy like that. But I mean, I guess we'll see what happens, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to come anywhere near passing the PGA. I think it could like compete with like the European Tour now. But
well, considering I forgot there was a European Tour, and I thought this was the only other competition.
But like Dustin Johnson, he's been injured. He hasn't been playing well when he has played. He's 2-3 years ago, he was ranked number 1 in the world. He's dropped down to, he's currently sitting at 15th. So, I mean, you look at it from the standpoint of like, they got him as their like poster boy, poster child. But other than that, like the next biggest name is Kevin Na, who's ranked 34th in the world. So you got 2 of the top 35 golfers, but nobody cracking the top 14. It's all the best, most of the best golfers are still with the tour until they get somebody who's playing like absolutely really good golf. And they're offering a lot of money, which is why
guaranteed money,
which is why some of these golfers have left. But you do that, then you don't have you don't have the Masters, the US Open,
100% accolades. It comes down to accolades at that point. And then I guess it's more though, what do you weigh against it? Because you can like with LIV, you can still play on the tour. It's whether the tour allows you back or not. They're not stopping you from playing on the tour.
True. They haven't officially like banned anybody from playing tour events, but it seems like it's very frowned upon with the rest of the golfers in the tour. They're like, yeah, if you're leaving the tour, like, fuck you.
And let's also remember Tiger Woods turned down a huge offer, rumored to be anywhere between a Patrick Mahomes size deal to a little bit more. So PGA Tour still has his support. And I think as long as like Tiger is golf. And so if Tiger's with PGA, the PGA is golf.
They went after a couple other guys too. Like they were trying to get Bryson for a while.
Yeah. Which fine. Get him the fuck out of here.
I mean, I would have been so happy if Bryson was the face of that. That would have fucking flopped on its head. No, but I like DJ. I see for him, like I said, he's been dealing with injuries. He hasn't been playing well when he has been playing. I get it. Take the money. His golf game seems like it's slipping. He's still young enough that he can easily like bring that back. But for him, I have no bad blood towards him for just taking that money and going, especially because he hasn't been super competitive on the tour lately anyways. So it's interesting. We'll see what happens. I do think some more of those like mid-tier tour golfers might flock over there if they're able to make more money.
And that's
but the top 10, 15, 20 on the PGA Tour are not going anywhere.
No,
because I think at this point they can still make just as much, if not more, on the tour if they're consistently getting top 10 finishes and stuff like that. So
100%. Now, from going from people leaving to happy reunions and other people getting the effing bag. I mean, back up the goddamn Brinks truck. Little NFL news for us. Aaron Donald getting the bag, signing with re-signing. Well, not re-signing, getting a big raise from the Los Angeles Rams, over $40 million over the next 3 years of his contract. I mean, he's like you said before the show, he's the highest non-paid quarterback.
Now he is. Yeah.
Bro.
They just gave him a 2-year $60-something million extension or something like that. So,
geez,
as his contract currently stands, because it was super backloaded to begin with, He'll be making, I think, a total of $95 million over the next 3 years, which makes him the highest paid non-quarterback in the entire NFL. Skipped over the whole highest paid defensive player step straight to
just non-quarterback.
Leapfrogged all those wide receivers and said, "No, fuck you guys. I'm going to be the highest paid non-quarterback."
And I will say
he deserves it.
Dude, he deserves it. No, absolutely. I was just going to say, these teams, when they have been giving, these guys the bag, they have deserved the bag. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs locking them up for 10 years. Great.
Not receivers.
No, not receivers. I think that. Not receivers.
This offseason got all fucking whack because of Christian Kirk out of all people.
Christian Kirk.
Because Jacksonville somehow decided they were going to pay Christian Kirk 18-19 million a year, and that screwed up the entire wide receiver market. So there's every wide receiver who got a deal got overpaid.
Why do you think Deebo Samuels is all pissy? He would have been fine.
Other than Devontae, who's probably he's getting paid what he should be, but all these other receivers that got contracts are getting fucking overpaid through the roof.
No, yeah.
I mean, the Rams don't win the Super Bowl last year without Aaron Donald. No. The Bengals were marching down the field, looking to either tie it or put the nail in the coffin with a touchdown. And Aaron Donald made 2 huge plays on that final drive to break things up, and he won them the game. He should have, well, maybe not should have, but he arguably could have won Super Bowl MVP. He didn't get it. Obviously, Cooper Kupp getting it. I think Odell, if he didn't get injured, would have won it. But Aaron Donald definitely could have won Super Bowl MVP, and I don't think too many people would have questioned that.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it's going to be one of those things. I don't think the Rams are done with this offseason whatsoever. OBJ still on the market. There is no reason they can't bring him back, if it's even for a 2-year or a 1-year deal. He fits in that offense so well. He's a nice toy for Matthew Stafford. Don't get me wrong, with Cooper Kupp and everything, you're all loaded up. I don't think they need OBJ by any means.
Well, they got Allen Robinson now too.
Oh, I forgot they got Allen Robinson from the Bears. That was also, I kind of did that thing that trauma patients do where they just black out bad things that have happened, and half of the Bears' existence has just been blocked from my memory and the bad moves they've made. So
you just reverted back to 2016 and you're like, oh, the Bears are good.
The Bears are good. Mitch Trubisky just took us to a playoffs. We're fine.
Mitch Trubisky went 12-4.
I will never forget that year.
18, probably not 16. I might have been off by
a couple years, but I will never forget texting you that entire season and being like, the Bears are going to fuck around and accidentally make the playoffs. And then they did.
Well, they won the division.
Yeah, they won the fucking division.
I mean, Rodgers was injured, but they still won the division. And then they lost in the wildcard round with the double doink, but double doink.
Whenever I hear 2 consecutive knocks or something, I just get PTSD. I'm back there watching that kick not hit. No, to wrap it up, I think we got to talk a little college ball, dude. We got the College World Series in both baseball and softball playing it out. What do you see going on? What's happening? Because I'm not going to lie to you, I have been neck deep in lacrosse balls. I have no idea what's going on there. Except U of A just, blew it.
Yeah. So, we'll start with softball. U of A obviously making the Women's College World Series as an unseeded team. It was the first ever unseeded team to not lose a single game en route to the Women's College World Series. Caitlin Lowe, our first-year head coach, became the first ever coach to make the Women's College World Series in their first year.
That's awesome.
So absolutely outperforming the expectations. Arizona did, unfortunately getting eliminated yesterday in a tough one. Losing 5-2 to Texas after getting out to a little 2-1 lead. Oklahoma, easily the number 1 seed. They suffered their 3rd loss of the season earlier today to UCLA.
Shit.
But then beat them 15-0 in the second game. That game only going 5 innings. Run rule, obviously a thing in college softball. So Oklahoma will be moving on to the final. Oklahoma State losing 5-0 to Texas. That game just going final. They will play one more game tonight. Winner of that will move on to play Oklahoma in a winner takes all championship game, with every team sustaining at least one loss in the double elimination format. I think we just have one game to win it all. It will be a Big 12 matchup. Will it be the battle of the two Oklahoma teams in Oklahoma City, or will it be the Red River rivalry?
Red River rivalry. The triple R's.
Yeah. So like I said, Oklahoma, 57-3 on the season. Absolutely ridiculous. Get third loss of the season to UCLA earlier. One of their other 2 losses was to Texas though. So let's keep an eye on that.
Interesting.
But yeah, this is Oklahoma, one of the most dominant softball teams we've seen of all time, like ever this season. If they don't get it done, that's a huge disappointment. Like, this is a team that came into this expecting to win the whole thing, not just to make it there, not just to like they expected to win. Obviously, finishing the regular season with like a 48-49-2 record, something like that. That's just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, if they don't win, it's going to be like winning 60 games in the NBA and then just, shitting the bed in the second round.
Not even. It's like winning 73 games and then blowing a 3-1 lead in the finals. That's the equivalence of that. And then on the baseball side of things, we've got some elimination games going on right now. Obviously, I mentioned earlier Arizona being eliminated. Super regionals, I believe, start Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. Finishing up the regional action right now. Tennessee, the number 1 overall seed, I have them winning. Took them before the tournament started, plus 250. Not a whole lot of craziness going on with the baseball tournament so far. The craziest thing that could happen in these regionals would be later tonight if Texas State ends up beating Stanford, and Stanford, the number 2 overall seed, gets eliminated. But I don't see that happening. I didn't take a bet on Stanford. I did post my college baseball bets on @Angle Money Train earlier today. Follow that, by the way. Had a tremendous
Angle Money Train, right?
Yes, had a tremendous May betting MLB. Had a terrible May betting NHL. So just ignore those if you don't want that. Ended up going 52-52 on the month of May. Perfect 500 record. Was down 1.2 units, but I was up 12 units on MLB. So we've had a hot start to June as well. So follow that for any of your baseball picks. Hopefully we'll be hot on college baseball as well. We will keep you posted on all of those picks.
Hell yeah, brother. That's what we're here for. That's what we do. The fuck else are we going to do? We're going to bet on regular baseball, and we're not going to bet on the college baseball. I'm sorry. If you're listening to this show and you didn't think we were going to talk about the College World Series, you need to go ahead and take another look at the name of this show. We're fucking degenerates. With that being said, Noah, any final thoughts to wrap up this weekend update?
I would say bear down, go Cats, but we're all out of everything right now. So gonna have to wait for college football season to say that again. And we'll keep you posted on everything NBA, NHL playoffs, as well as MLB regular season, maybe even some lacrosse. It seems like AJ's starting to.
Oh, I'm deep, bro. I am deep in the lacrosse.
Get into that a little, and we'll see what happens. It's going to be a beautiful month of June. It's going to be a beautiful month of June.
Great month of June. Great month of June in our wallets, on the field, everywhere. It's just going to be a good month of June, Noah. Thank you for shouting out the lacrosse. I am covering the PLL Premier Lacrosse League. I'm covering it like I cover the NFL. I got my power rankings up right now for week 2. I have my bets coming out on Wednesday, handicapping this shit. Yeah, that's right. I took the time to handicap lacrosse. I am so fucking bored without football and real basketball. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm handicapping that. So go ahead, like, share, and subscribe down below. Follow us on Twitter, myself at Brofict1, him at N_Engelbretson / Engel Money Train for the Sportsbook Whisperers best picks of the day. The show, follow us at Degenerate Takes, so that if you don't want to follow the both of us, you can just follow that, and then we retweet all that shit. It's how this works. And then you get to stay up to date on when we're posting shit, and that's half the fun. So yeah, do all of that stuff I just said. I've been the Brofict one. That's been Noah, and we'll see you next time on Degenerate.